with the breakout room. All right, to respect everyone's time, we are going to get started. So good morning and welcome to Social Emotional Support Family. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Crystal Clark. I am the Director of Student Support Services for the Rochester City School District. And I also have my counterpart here, Elizabeth Reyes, Executive Director of Equity, Inclusion, and Social Emotional Supports. I also want to let you all know that if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to write your questions in the chat. And at the end of this presentation, we'll do our best to answer your questions. So to get started, I just want to talk about some of the challenging times that we're facing. We have a lot going on with COVID-19, as well as other things that are occurring in our community. So we really want to ensure that we all have a good understanding of how to cope and deal with our emotions, as well as to show empathy and grace towards others and the things that they may be enduring during this difficult time. So as you all know, we are dealing with two public health crises, one being COVID-19 and the other being the racial injustices that are faced throughout America and in our country. Because of that, these two public health crises have really taken a major toll on our mental health, how we are feeling and handling emotions, how we're coping with our day-to-day life. It's taking a toll on physical health, on our bodies, how we're reacting to things, as well as financial health, being able to make ends meet and to provide for our families. As a result of these things, you may see when you're interacting with other people or even within yourself, emotional stress and anxiety, grief and loss, feeling a lot of hardship, having difficulty balancing, and really just feeling lots of different emotions due to the two public health crises. So I also want to note in Rochester City School District, 90% of our scholars are students of color. So when students of color or just a person of color is exposed to racial discrimination and bias, that also leads to increased daily stressors and more psychological and physiological issues. So with that being said, you may also see mood swings, inattentiveness, negative coping skills, or needs for students or even families to restructure routines and different things. So these are all signs and stressors as it relate to the COVID-19 health, major health issue, as well as racial injustice. So what we want to do is help you all combat these issues by providing you with the resources that we have within Rochester City School District, as well as our community.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Reyes. Thank you for introducing me, Crystal. The Department of Student Support Services has different programs and services to help students and families. Listed here are the contact persons for each area. Social workers can provide individual, group, and crisis counseling, social emotional support, and advocacy, among other support, based on student needs. Counselors also provide social emotional support, advocacy, academic, and career advisement. We have student support centers, which connect students to mental health and other community supports. We also have the Rock Restorative Team, which facilitates restorative circles with students, parents, and staff, and support students' social emotional learning. They also provide student opportunities, for leadership opportunities. Families in Transition is our program that works with homeless students and families. and they can help with basic needs like hygiene products, clothing, book bags, school supplies, and they also have a social worker that can help with case management needs. Next slide. So every school has a social worker, and there are many reasons why a student may want to speak to a social worker. Peer relationship, self-esteem issues, challenges at school or home. Social workers can provide brief, short-term or ongoing counseling based on their needs. Social emotional support. They also conduct restorative circles, behavioral interventions, staff consultations, among other forms of support. There are a couple of links here. One will direct you to the social work, our page, our social work page, and on that page, there's the social work directory, which has the contact information and the location for every social worker. And Crystal's gonna mention it later, like show you the actual web page, or at least the face of it. So when you look into the district's website, you can find the student support services webpage. We also have a social emotional hotline that is monitored Monday through Friday, 8 to 3. And calls after 3 will be filtered to Center for Youth. Thank you, Paul. They have a 24-hour hotline. So calls after 3 will be directed to Center for Youth, 24-hour hotline. Crystal will now share about the school counselor role.
So hello again, everyone. As I stated, I'm the Director of Student Support Services. So I oversee our school counselors throughout our district. So we have school counselors in grades K through 12 throughout our district. So for school counseling, if you need support with academics, any type of academic support, social emotional support, which means if your child is struggling and you need to talk to someone one-on-one about some different issues or things that they're having, that's another reason why you will see a school counselor. And then we also help with college and career goals and helping students plan for the next step after high school. So here we have our district website, the school counseling website available. It has a lot of wonderful resources, as well as videos for students and parents that just really help walk you through the academic, social, emotional, and college and career processes. And then we also have our counseling directory as well as upcoming dates. This PowerPoint will be shared with the participants that are a part of our breakout room today. So you'll be able to really go through and look at all the different resources that are available to you. So as Elizabeth stated, we also have for all of our departments, social work, restorative, special education, placement, etc. One landing page is the Student Support Services website. Again, here we have lots of wonderful resources for parents and for families to help you not only with your child as it relates to school, but also as it relates to the community and different things that they may have occurring in their day-to-day lives. So this is a great resource to start with. And again, if you have any questions as it relates to these things, you can contact Elizabeth and I. Our contact information is within this PowerPoint, as well as on the Student Support Services website.
So the following are community resources for counseling, crisis support, and other mental health support. Some of the resources have walk-in hours, like the Catholic Family Center, and others you would have to call and schedule a Zoom teletherapy appointment. 211, the Suicide Prevention, Child Abuse, and Domestic Violence hotlines are 24 hours. They're monitored 24 hours. And 211 can also provide information on additional resources that are not highlighted here. We also have U of R health centers that you can access in the district, and they're currently accepting students in grades 5 and up, Monday through Friday, 8 to 3. And to access them, you would use the link right here that's provided. So mindfulness and self-care is a critical component to social emotional health as well as physical health. And boundaries are an important part of self-care. So make sure to take breaks and be intentional about self-care by making time daily to do the things you enjoy. Feelings and needs, be aware of your feelings and healthy outlets to help you process and express them. In control, recognizing what is and isn't in your control will help you find peace and rest, and learn to let things go. Joy, there are beautiful moments that bring us joy, and we can create them. Self-care routines needs to become a lifestyle and embedded throughout your day, especially in the beginning and the end. So be good to yourself. And the last slide is we just highlighted a few websites that you can go to and help just practice daily self-care and promote, your well-being and social emotional health.
In
So
addition to that, the first two are actually applications that you can download for free on your cell phone. And it's really about mindfulness, just making sure that you take deep breaths throughout today, focusing on positivity and really helping to decrease your stress and anxiety. These are wonderful apps that we not only use in our personal lives, but with our scholars to just give them some positive coping skills. So we want to offer that all to you. And now we'll open up questions. So if you have any questions, again, you can put the questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer those questions. Shelly, do we have any questions at this point?
Nothing in the chat as of yet, Crystal.
Thank you. I believe there is a question that I could see in the chat, and you're asking what is the counselor to student ratio for school counseling. So currently, we are abiding by the regulations according to the New York State School Counseling Association. So the ratio is one counselor to 250 students. Right now, every counselor in our district has at least 250 students. Some areas they may have a little more. And in those areas, we filter and use our community supports to be able to help us. The role of a school counselor is very crucial. Right now, during remote learning, what we have is a SEL check-in time at the beginning of the day. So the school counselors are working with teachers and collaborating with them to support with the SEL check-in time. Each school counselor also has a Google Classroom that has all of their students listed in that Google Classroom. So they're doing individual as well as group support with students, helping with academics, next steps towards college and career, check-in as far as student engagement, etc. Are there other questions? Oh, someone is asking if we could possibly do a round robin of introductions. And then someone else has a question about adding more counselors into the budget since we are in a district with high needs. That is something that I always advocate for as a director of student support services. I oversee the school counselors in our district, and I also work in our district as a school counselor for 13 years. So we're always working to advocate for more school counselors to ensure that we can really meet the needs of our students. At this point, we're doing the best that we can to meet their needs, but it will be great if we will have the opportunity to add more school counselors to be able to really help the students with their academic, social, emotional, and college career aspirations. And I do not mind if you guys would like to do a round robin of introducing yourselves. You feel free to do that if you are able to unmute.
Hi, folks. This is Philip Howell. I'm the board commissioner that was assigned to this breakout room. This isn't my field of expertise. In fact, there are board members who are far more conversant in this, in the area of social emotional supports. Commissioner LeBron comes to mind immediately, but we have other commissioners like Commissioner Elliott, who works in community service work. But this is kind of a learning experience for myself as well. I'm eager to learn of the people who are not presenting. If you are teachers or parents, and if parents, then the school and grade your students go to. Thanks.
I'm happy to go next, as I am actually both a parent and a teacher in the district. My name is Laura Delahanty, and I have a third grader, a freshman in high school, and a senior in high school. I've also taught at East High School for the past 24 years. And so I'm witnessing things from the parent perspective as well as the teaching perspective. And I'm very, very concerned, not as much for my own children, though they are struggling. My own children have a pretty strong safety net. Their father is also a teacher in the district. And so though they are struggling, I know that we can, as a family, provide for them many of the things necessary. I'm actually more concerned about so many of my students because they are highly, highly capable, just as capable as my own children. However, many of them do not have the same kind of safety nets. And I am also concerned that what I'm seeing is much of their mental health issues is because of being so isolated and the amount of time that we're asking them to be on screens. I am wondering if there is any help for students that's not virtual, that's not asking them to go to a website to do mindfulness or be in a breakout session, because the more time we're asking them to be on screens, it's really challenging. And so that's my perspective on things.
Yes, I can speak to the what you just asked. So basically what we have been doing as well, although we're using Zoom and other outlets to do some of our student check-ins or phone calls, we also have been really working with our scholars to let them know what community resources are available so that they can have that face-to-face time and really interact with each other using CDC guidelines. So as you guys may know, we do have learning labs throughout Rochester at our centers, through Encompass Learning Centers, through In Control, Boys and Girls Club, and the YMCA. And after those learning hours, they also offer activities for students around physical health as well as mental health. So they do have the opportunities to do that. Because there's so many resources, many of them are in the community where the kids reside. So there's places that they can walk to that are within 5 or 10 minutes to be able to get that support and assistance outside of being on the computer.
Crystal, can you stop sharing the PowerPoint so we can see each other?
Absolutely.
Someone asked it. Okay. Oh.
Can you see everyone on the Brady Bunch screen?
Hi.
Oh, thank you all for participating today. Does anyone else like to introduce themselves or have a question?
Crystal, can I go ahead, if that's okay?
Well,
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Clark. I'm the Director of School-Based Programs for the Center for Youth. And we have been a proud partner of the Rochester City School District for at least 25 years. And 20 of those years, I have been directly connected with the Rochester City School District. And love the district to death, even with its struggles, both in the community and elsewhere. I wanted just to clarify a couple of things, and Elizabeth was reviewing this a little bit earlier in regards to connecting with the Center for Youth. We've been around for 50 years. This is our 50th anniversary coming up, and we provide both runaway and homeless services and school-based services, and that's what I oversee. And we provide social emotional support services in most of the schools in the Rochester City School District. We have what we call social learning specialists who run the help zones in the Rochester City School District, where young people and families can access services. And even during these virtual times, our staff are connected to young people and families through classroom meetings, through actually home visits, delivering resources for families. But I also want to say that the Center for Youth is open 24/7, and that 271-7670 number, you will actually talk to an actual person. It won't be a recording where you have to leave a message. So, please do not hesitate to reach out to the Center for Youth. We are an agency that's very creative. We think outside the box, and our goal is to meet the needs of our young people and families.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul.
We really appreciate that. Susan, I see that you're on, so if you would like to share, please feel free to.
Yes, I had my camera off. I have to be honest because I just came from the gym, but
I understand the world that we live in right now.
like I actually got to go back to the gym. Anyways, hi, I'm Susan Gunther, and I'm the director of MCC's Liberty Partnerships Program. And we've been partnering with the school district, I don't know for how many years. I've been doing this job for 17 years. And the program itself has been around for 30. As Paul said, like we also are doing a lot of outreach in various ways, including home visits. We just went out on some home visits yesterday for students we're concerned about because, maybe we've heard from teachers or counselors that they're not showing up for class or their attendance is sporadic and nobody was able to reach them. So we have about 75% success when we go knocking on doors. So that's helpful. We also are doing, it is tutoring via Zoom because MCC, everything with MCC is pretty much remote too, so we can't have students at the campus. But the nice thing about it is we're able to actually provide a lot of one-on-one tutoring for students in breakout rooms. So it's been kind of nice. We used to do it after school in kind of larger groups, and I feel like now people are getting a little bit more one-on-one assistance. The students are. As someone said before, we are seeing a lot of students who are really frustrated with the online learning, and it's hard for a lot of them, and I empathize with them. And I was talking to a student yesterday that we went to her house because she wasn't really attending, and she said, "This is just so hard for me." And so we were just trying to be real encouraging and encouraging her and her mom to reach out to her teachers. And the marking period starts on Monday, new marking period. So hopefully, a new kind of breath of motivation there or whatever. We're still doing our college prep, helping students one-on-one with college applications and FAFSA, and we can do it either by phone or on Zoom. So we're still doing we're doing our workshops on Zoom. And again, some students are, oh my God, all I'm doing is Zooming. I think we all feel the same, right? But we are providing a lot of the same supports. It's obviously just not the same because we're not in person, just like the teachers. And I feel for the parents too. Yeah.
Anyone else would like to share? I'm just answering a few questions in the chat. Someone asked, was there a mental health resource or list to be able to find children or adolescent counselors? So I was just referring them to One Psychology Today. If you go to Psychology Today's website, you can actually search for counselors in your area, in your zip code, and then you can also put in more information about what type of services you would like. whether it's child or adolescents, or if you have information on what the child is dealing with. We also have Mental Health of Rochester, where you could reach out to them to be able to give you an idea of what other services are available, or which is even easier, simpler, is just to call 211. So 211 is a resource that we have throughout our community that basically has over 50,000 partnerships. With 211, they can basically link you to whatever service that you're looking for, whatever type of support you may need. A lot of families in our area use 211 from the city of Rochester. They share the statistics and different things with us. So the 5 basic things that they have been working on is basic needs, helping with rent assistance, food, as well as mental health. In addition, with 211, they also have counselors available as well to be able to speak to adolescents or adults. So I'll put that in the chat as well. Anyone else would like to introduce themselves or share out? Well, thank you all for your time. We really appreciate having you all in our session today. Again, my name is Crystal Clark. I'll put my information in the chat. So if you guys have any questions or concerns regarding what we discussed today, please feel free to. And yes, the session is being recorded. So if anyone would like to go back to watch this again, you'll have the availability to do so. And we're going to also ask that our PowerPoint is shared out, so you'll have those resources as well.
Would you like us to go back to the main room, or is this the end of the?
Go back to the main room, and I believe they're going to ask you if you would like to join another session.
I do have one quick question, Crystal. You shared so many great resources that are online through the website. I'm wondering, how much data are you getting in terms of the amount of parents that are actually going to the website? And are there other avenues for families to get that information besides the website? You mentioned the rec centers that are being used. My family goes to the Adams Street Rec Center often. Are there flyers there that families can get that has all of that information there? And if not,
it's not necessarily flyers there, but they do have, which is really good. We can think about doing something along those lines, but with the rec staff as well as the RCSG staff, they can share that information out with you, with the parents that come to the different community agencies, not only the our centers, but the other places that we're partnered with as well. And then, yes, we do have the links, but with those links, there's also phone numbers available as well. Or you could really just speak to a school counselor, social worker, or any of the agency partners that you have at your school to be able to get support. Within your schools, for some schools, you also have a community site coordinator. I know you guys do over at East High School, which is a wonderful resource. So if you're not sure who to talk to or who to connect a parent with, just start with your community site coordinator or social worker counselor.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very aware of all those different resources. One of the things that I'm seeing is that we're being overwhelmed to some degree. I mean, we just don't have the amount of resources that we need for the amount of suffering that so many of our students are experiencing. It's really challenging.
Right. And I understand that definitely, not just speaking to the resources that you have on your campus, but those people can also help you to refer students and parents to resources that are in the community.
Exactly. That's yeah. And so I'm just wondering if we can potentially, as a district, use those community centers as another way to share that information.
Absolutely.
And just to reiterate that information too, when we do have different issues that happen in the community, whether it's tragedies or things of that nature, we normally will deploy additional people to those rec centers or community partnerships so that we have someone there to do some face-to-face time and support with our students. Thank you for your feedback. We'll definitely think about those flyers and see how we can communicate that out more to parents.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, if there's no other questions, then thank you all again. Have a great day.
Thanks. Thanks, Crystal and everybody, and Elizabeth.
Good to see you, my friends. Shelly Boyd, I miss you.
I miss you too, Maureen.
And hi, Liz.
Hi.
I didn't know whether I should introduce myself as Piri or as a parent, so I just was sitting here sipping my tea.
Oh.
All right. Are you going to get another batch of people coming in?
Yes.
I believe so.
All right. Good work.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.